It's been a while since we hit the ladder. What is going on, YouTube? ExpressoShucko here, and today we are hitting the Reg J ladder with this Lunala and Magearna team. Now, I originally built the team to showcase Magearna, and then added Lunala on after the fact, but Lunala has been fun to use with Magearna here. We have a very, very hard Trick Room team here with Lunala and Indeedee both being able to set it up. And honestly, with Indeedee's Follow Me, Lunala is able to get Trick Room up pretty easily. So, what do we have for the team? Well, we have Lunala, of course, with the Mental Herb to protect us from Taunt, which keep that in mind because that's going to be important later because I forgot what item I put on this thing at one point. But yeah, we have Lunala with Tera Fairy, we have Moonblast and Moongeist Beam, we have Wide Guard and Trick Room, so we don't have to worry about the likes of Astral Barrage if we are worried about it. We have Magearna here with a Psychic Seed and Terra Grass. I've never used this thing before, but I think it's fun with its Soul Heart ability raising its special attack every time something faints, which is great when you have a signature move that lowers your special attack each time you use it. So being able to have Soul Heart and Flare Cannon kind of like counteracting each other is kind of nice because you don't have to worry about lowering your special attack and then having to switch out. We have Flash Cannon and Shadow Ball for some coverage here, as well as Protect to have Magearna in a relatively nice position. The Terra Grass here is to protect us from Moongeist and Root Bonnet when Trick Room goes up for Spore, and that is mainly the only reason why that's here, because Terra Grass doesn't really overlap the greatest with Steel Fairy, but I mean, it is nice to not have to worry about a Moongeist Spore or Rage Powder. And plus Root Bonnet's a thing as well. We have Indeedee here with the Rocky Helmet, and then Indeedee can also redirect away physical attacks and get a little bit of chip damage, so it's not for nothing. We have Alluring Voice for some chip damage. We have Follow Me, Protect, and Trick Room. We have Choice Scarf and Annihilape here with Final Gambit, because another fun thing about Magearna is because it gets that special attack boost every time something faints, it doesn't matter if it's your partner or not. So when Annihilape can hypothetically come in and go for Final Gambit, knock itself out, and potentially something else, and potentially get Magearna up to +2 special attack, so that's fun logic. And plus, Scarf Annihilape just outspeeds a lot of stuff. Now, I do have U-Turn here to pivot out in case I am in a situation where I don't necessarily want to Final Gambit right away. We have Rage Fist in case I come in and take a little bit of chip damage, and then Rage Fist can potentially get powered up. But also if an Incineroar comes in here, I do have the Defiant ability, so getting a +1 attack and then being able to either Drain Punch or Rage Fist, that could work out relatively nicely as well, but really that probably should be close combat in hindsight. And then we have Incineroar and Ursaluna. Incineroar does what Incineroar wants to do best and have Fake Out, Knock Off, and Flare Blitz. So you have that a damage option with the knockoff and the Flare Blitz. You have Parting Shot to pivot out, and then you have the Fake Out just for a little bit of pressure. And then we have Ursaluna here to be our physical hitting powerhouse once Trick Room goes up with the Flame Orb and Guts. And plus we have the standard stuff with Ursaluna. We got Headlong Rush, Earthquake, and Facade. So overall, that is the team. Let's jump on in to some battles. Take it away, Lunala. Yeah. Okay, we got Tony, and Tony here has Venusaur, Roaring Moon, Brute Bonnet, Groudon, Corridon, and Charizard. Okay, that's a lot of sun right there. A lot of sun that I don't really have a great means of dealing with, but I do have Scarf Ape with, yeah, I do have Scarf Ape with Final Gambit, which could be nice. Yeah, alright. I think I need Incin. Indeedee might be okay as well. Yeah, getting Trick Room up might be okay. I think we bring in Ursaluna. If we can get Trick Room up, if we can get Trick Room up, that's going to be helpful. I won't have to worry about the Brute Bonnet if I can get my Flame Orb up. And I think we bring Lunala, which honestly, this is a bit of a scary combination here since we're only bringing the one big legendary, and they do have Corridon, but they also have Groudon, which, I mean, Groudon, while it does love its Precipice Blades can miss. Yeah, Precipice Blades can miss. So I might be okay here. Incineroar and Indeedee might not be the worst thing either. Do I love the fact that I just gave my opponent the ability to be safe from fake out? No. Do I love the idea of Flare Blitzing that Venusaur? Yeah, you better bet your sweet Bippy that I do. Let's see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to raw Flare Blitz into the Venu. I'm going to follow me with Indeedee. Yeah, I'm going to follow me with Indeedee. And then this way, too, they don't know I'm Safety Goggles yet. I can always go Terra Water. There's the Sleep Powder, which is going to miss Indeedee, which is big. Breaking Swipe, okay. I was not expecting that off Corridon, but they don't know I'm Safety Goggles yet. And I think with the Sun, this should still be enough to... Yeah, okay. Venu is gone. I wonder if I can get away with a Parting Shot. Yeah, I might be able to get away with a Parting Shot. I might even be able to try to get that Trick Room up. It's gonna be questionable because, I mean, Charizard is gonna be a bit scary, but let's see here. 4 turns of Sun, 4 turns of Psychic Terrain. Why did I leave my Terra for my Indeedee? That's Terra Grass. That's not going to be helping me at all. Right, I wanted to see if they were Clear Amulet. That's what it was, and they are. Okay. Indeedee might not... Indeedee might live this, it might not. We're kind of gambling on this one. U-turn off of... Okay. I'm going to at least get a Parting Shot with Incineroar, because I feel like Incineroar should be okay to take a solar-powered attack from Charizard in the Sun, he said, hopefully. Roaring Moon is coming out, okay. Right. Attack is heightened, yeah, makes sense. Air Slash, oh! Well, okay then. Let's go. Alright. It is Ursaluna time. And then we need to nail that Charizard. Yeah, we need to nail Charizard, get that thing off the field. We got the Trick Room up. Ursaluna is definitely going to love that. Especially since we have our Flame Orb now. Leftovers. Okay, Leftovers and Solar Power. Alright, that's assuring. Alright. They might be Terra Ghost. What I want to do is I want to go for a Alluring Voice into the Roaring Moon slot, just in case they go Terra Ghost. I want to scout with Ursaluna here, because if they don't, that might be okay. And this is also going to be 4 times super effective into Roaring Moon. So let's see, Night Slash into Indeedee. Alright. That will let me get Lunala in. And then Lunala can Wide Guard. Which I love. I do love that. Solar Beam. Okay. Well then, you are cooking. Hopefully not my Ursaluna. I mean, while bear jerky is delicious, I don't want to see my Ursaluna become bear jerky. Okay. You know what? Incineroar would threaten the Charizard. I'm going to knock off into the Charizard slot. And I'm going to Facade. And then that way, on the off chance that they have Terra Ghost, I don't have to worry about getting no damage off. And Incineroar does have a respectable attack stat. So... let's see here. We're actually just going to nail the Charizard with a Facade, so I don't have to worry about that. Incineroar is going to knock off the Roaring Moon's item. It's going to be resisted, but I mean, Roaring Moon doesn't have... Oh, yeah. Roaring Moon had, like, next to no HP. Okay. So, I have Facade. Oh, interesting. It was loaded dice, so they must have had Scale Shot there. Now, my Trick Room should end around the same time the sun does. Which, I mean, Lunala is not scared of this Koridon. We have 1 turn of Psychic Terrain, 2 turns of Trick Room. What I'm going to do, because I'm an Ursaluna, I am going to go for the big damage, and I'm going to Parting Shot with Incin. But yeah, we're just going to hit it with the Facade right there. So, yeah, nice. Okay. Ursaluna got to nail that. Koridon with some nice big Facade damage, which I definitely love to see. And definitely nice to have that extra turn of Trick Room there. So yeah, very happy about how that played out. Definitely very scary to see that Charizard, but we got very, very lucky. And I cannot put enough emphasis on this. We got very lucky with the Indeedee dodging the Sleep Powder. So if that Sleep Powder had hit, that could have been a drastically different game, but thankfully it did not, and we just nailed that Venusaur with Incin. Yeah, so very happy about that. A good game to my opponent. And now before we move on to the next battle, I have a very special guest. It's me. It's me from the past, though, here to talk to you about our partner. Take it away, me. To those of you with the astute eye, you might be noticing that my hair is a bit damp, and that's because I just hopped out of the shower with today's partner, Cheeky. Cheeky Soap is a moisturizing bar that cuts through odors, leaving you smelling like you've been frolicking with the blossom while leaving your skin feeling refreshed. Look, we've all been around people who reek, whether it be out on public transit or out at the grocery store. It stinks, but that isn't a problem when you use Cheeky. I've been using Cheeky for a month now, and I can't get enough of it. I love the smell of soap in the afternoon, and look at this 4-ounce block of delight. Now, did I script that out of order? Absolutely, but that's not the point right now. The point here is, if you don't want to smell like a bag of trubbish, I have great news. Use my code SHUCKO on your order of Cheeky Soap. Trust me, you won't regret it, and for anyone who thinks I'm full of it, here's some grass for you to touch. Use cheeky.com/Shucko for 10% off on your orders, and thank you to Cheeky for partnering with me. Now, back to the video. Alright, we have an opposing Magearna team with Annihilape, Urshifu, Grimmsnarl, Smeargle, and Calyrex Ice Rider. I'm bringing the Annihilape. I'm bringing the Annihilape for this one. And I like the idea of going Indeedee, Magearna. And I really like Lunala here. Because what I can potentially do is I can potentially set the Trick Room, I could potentially undo the Trick Room, I could potentially Wide Guard away Glacial Lance, which could be huge. I think if we can get Magearna set up, I think we're in an A-OK position. I am scared of potential Final Gambit coming off the Annihilape with coaching being able to be alternated, but if I can nail their Calyrex with a Final Gambit of my own, that's amazing. So, yeah. There is that. Alright. It is going to be Grimmsnarl on Ice Rider, which, honestly, I am okay with this. I am very okay with this. I am going to... I'm going to follow me with Indeedee, and I'm going to Final Gambit. Actually, I don't even think I need to Final Gambit. Or, I do need to Final Gambit. I don't think I need to follow me with the Indeedee. Or maybe I do. Maybe I do. And the reason being, on the off chance they protect... If they protect and then hit Annihilape with Grimmsnarl, that's not good for Annihilape for the following turn for the Final Gambit. But I'm going to try to get the Final Gambit off into this Calyrex. If that forces them into switching in their own Annihilape, not the end of the world. No Protect coming out of Calyrex, okay. Reflect is coming in here, which I think I'm okay. I think I actually am okay with this. We're going to get the Final Gambit off. Let's see right here. Goodbye, Calyrex. Okay. Thank you, Ape. You did what you needed to do. Very good. Very good. And because the Grimmsnarl went for the Reflect, Indeedee doesn't take any damage at all. Now, I want to get that Magearna in. And let's see who it is. Who is this? It is their opposing, the opposing Magearna, but that's fine. I get a special defense boost. I really like the idea of going Flash Cannon into Grimmsnarl, and honestly, I kind of want to trigger him. I kind of don't want to trigger him. I think I'm just going to Alluring Voice, because they are going to most likely go for the Light Screen. We got rid of Calyrex, which is huge. And having Indeedee with the Rocky Helmet is okay as well. If they go for something silly like a Spirit Break into my Magearna, that's not fun. But they're going to go for the Light Screen. I can get the Flash Cannon chip. And then this way too, I don't have to worry about Flare Cannon lowering my special attack. It's also not quite enough to knock them out, which is great. And they went for their own Trick Room. So I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to Flash Cannon into their Magearna, and I think I'm just going to follow me. I'm at +1 special defense. If I can get the +2 special attack, that's going to help. And if I can get Lunala in and have some Moongeist Beam stuff to hit the Magearna with, great. If they want Spirit Break with Grim, and I knock them out with my Rocky Helmet, all the best. They are Terra Water Magearna. Okay. I don't have anything to hit them with super effectively, even without the Terra, but I mean, Steel Fairy is such a good defensive typing. I don't mind seeing that gone. Now, Misty Terrain, that's clever. That is actually really clever. I do like that. Dazzling Gleam, I'm not too worried about, though. Because now what I can do, although it's resisted, I can potentially try to get a little bit of chip damage there. And I think I just bring in Lunala. I think I bring in Lunala so I can reset the Psychic Terrain with Indeedee later. I don't mind protecting my Magearna here. Flash Cannon into Lunala is not going to be the end of the world right here. Spirit Break is not ideal, but I mean, what I can do, I'm going to Flare Cannon. And I'm going to Moongeist Beam, or Moonblast. Yeah, we're going to Moonblast. I think it's time for Grimmsnarl to go. Now, if their Magearna has Shadow Ball, that could be a little bit scary into Lunala. I don't think they do. Also, Misty Terrain makes it so that I can't be statused, so I don't mind that at all. Lunala is going to take the Spirit Break, that's fine. This should still be more than enough to knock out Grim. And having Grim off the field is going to be nice. We saw Flash Cannon off of their Magearna. We saw Dazzling Gleam. How many turns of Trick Room do we have left? Oh, it's Urshifu. Oh, it's also Urshifu Single Strike. Okay. They don't love a Flare Cannon. Do I Terra Fairy here? Yeah, I think we Terra Fairy. I don't want to lose my Dark Resistance. I also don't mind being neutral to fighting with Magearna. I also don't mind being resistant to Flash Cannon and Dazzling Gleam. So this is more or less just so that I can try to preserve my Magearna myself. And then that way too, if I can get Indeedee in, I can always go for Follow Me, maybe. I don't know. They might just protect Urshifu this turn. They might have went for Sucker Punch since there is no Psychic Terrain. If they went for Sucker Punch, at least this covers for that. They might have just went Detect, and if they did, great. Yeah, they just went for Detect. Okay, I'm probably losing Lunala, but I mean, I don't hate having Indeedee come back in here. And plus, although I'm losing my Lunala, I am getting a Soul Heart boost. So at least that Flare Cannon I went for is not going to matter too much from earlier. So now I'm actually back up to neutral. Hitting them with a Flare Cannon might have been nice. Yeah, that might have been nice. But you know what? Twisted Dimensions are back to normal. Indeedee's coming in here. I think what I do... I think I see where we're at, light screen wise. 3 of 8. Ugh. Okay. I think I Flare Cannon Urshifu, and I think I follow me. And then this way too. If Urshifu goes for damage and they're sashed, I can potentially break that with my Indeedee's Rocky Helmet. And then Magearna can come in and just try to punish them that way. And then it turns into try to stall out the light screen, hit them with big damage. Well, I won't get big damage. They're going to be hitting way harder than me, because this is going to put me down to -2 special attack. And by the time the Soul Heart kicks out... Ooh, okay. Wicked Blow, sure. Sure. Magearna will finish off Urshifu. Then it's going to turn into Terra Water Magearna versus regular Magearna. I do have resistances working in my favor, which is nice. So they're going to be at like +4, which is terrifying, but at least there was 2 knockouts this turn. I should be able to get some decent damage into their Magearna. I do have the +1 special defense working in my favor too. Let's see here. 2 more turns of light screen. Okay. Don't really love that, but let's see. I think I'm gonna Shadow Ball them. I'm actually at neutral. So let's see. We'll get the Shadow Ball, and then we go for the Flare Cannon, and then hopefully we win the speed tie. Let's see right here. We're faster on this turn, which is nice. That's going to do next to nothing. Ooh, Flash Cannon. That's not good. Yeah, I forgot we had Flash Cannon there. Yeah, okay. Well, at least a Magearna won this one. Yeah. Some very good back and forth, but unfortunately just no... Yeah, I'm actually at a little bit of a loss for words. But I think that was pretty good. And ultimately, good showcase for why Magearna is scary. And plus, we also got the final gambit of that at Calyrex. So yeah, at least there's some good moments from that. Good game to my opponent. All right, we have Zamazenta and Calyrex Shadow Rider, a disgusting core. But we have Magearna. Maybe. We also have a Moongeist, Urshifu, Tornadus, and Chien-Pao. So I kind of like the idea of having Incineroar to potentially threaten the Calyrex. I don't really love the idea of going Incin and Indeedee together, but maybe Incin and Lunala. And then that way we can potentially get Trick Room up. If we can get Trick Room up, that might be great. I think we bring the Magearna and... Oh, here's a thought. Maybe instead of Incin, maybe we go Ape. Maybe we go Ape and then... you know what? No, let's maybe go Incin anyways. What I was thinking was maybe we go Ape and just have that to deal with Zama, but I mean... I got Ursaluna. If I can get that Trick Room up, I feel pretty darn safe. And plus the Magearna does have the Shadow Ball. I think we get Indeedee up, and then that way we have a little bit of redirection support to cover Magearna from Chien-Pao. So, yeah, that might be okay. And if Magearna gets enough boosts, I mean, Magearna can do a lot of damage. Tornadus and Calyrex, alright, so I kind of want to Terra Fairy knockoff. Yeah, I kind of want a Tera Fairy and knockoff into the Calyrex. Or I go Indeedee and knockoff. Yeah, maybe I do that. I'm gonna go Tera Fairy. I'm still gonna try to get the Trick Room up, but I'm gonna knock off into the Calyrex. I don't love burning my Tera right away, but at least this will let me resist an Astro Barrage. If I eat a Taunt off the Tornadus, that sucks, but I mean, slapping away Calyrex's item with Incin can be great. Yeah, I'm just gonna eat a Taunt, but you know what? If it's big damage... Oh yeah, right, I had the Mental Herb. I forgot I had that on there. I'm so used to playing with this thing with a Seed. We're going to get a Trick Room. We're going to be okay. I forgot my own item, but you know what? Fair enough. That's just a knocked out Calyrex. We're getting Trick Room up. I think what I do... I think I start pivoting into big damage. Yeah, I think I pivot into some damage now. I think I try to go for that Torn. I kind of want to try to get Moongeist Beam and Flare Blitz off. Well, I don't know if I want to go Flare Blitz. Moongeist Beam into Zama might be okay. Let's see. You know... They might just Tera the Zama. I'm going to knock off into the Torn just to... Okay, they're going to do that. Alright, that's okay. I don't mind trying to get some damage off into Torn here. We'll slap away their item. Covert Cloak. Alright, you know what? I kind of figured maybe it was Cloak. Which is why I also didn't want to go for Fake Out into that thing. Bleakwind Storm. Okay. Lunala's going to dodge. Nice. Nice. Instant dodged. Awesome. Okay. We're going to Moongeist Beam. And we're going to Flare Blitz into Zama. I really think they're going to Tera, but if they're going to Tera, I mean, sure. Alright, we got Rain Dance, so Flare Blitz is not going to do as much. They might not Tera. Yeah, that does nothing to Zama, but I mean... We do have that, which is nice. That's respectable damage. Incin's going to take a Body Press. I can get in Magearna now. Both of these Pokemon don't really love taking a Flare Cannon. And I am more than happy to fire a Flare Cannon at them. Yeah, I can do that. Honestly, I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to Moonblast. No, I think I'm still going to Moongeist Beam into Zama. I think Zama doesn't really appreciate that, and... Flare Cannon is definitely enough to get the Torn. We're going to get another Protect out of the... We're going to get another Protect out of the Zama, which is fine. Torn is going to go down here, so I'm going to go back up to -1 instead of -2. So that's okay. And Lunala's got no boosts or anything like that. I could realistically switch it into Indeedee if they think they're going to be creative and go for a Heavy Slam. 10 power? Okay. We still haven't seen Tera out of my opponent, which is a little bit interesting. How many turns of Trick Room do we have left? We have exactly 1 turn of Trick Room. You know what? We're gonna go for the Zama. Yeah, we're gonna go for the Zama there, and we're gonna Flash Cannon into the Chenpao. Yeah, all right. They go for Protect there, which, you know what? I don't really care about that. I just want to hit that Zama. Magearna's going to miss the Flash Cannon, obviously because of Protect, but I mean, Lunala's in more than a pretty enough position to hit the Zama. So, We get to punish them with that. Zama's gone. Chen Pao, although it does have Sucker Punch, I'm not too worried about that here. Now, I think what we can do, we're going to be cute. We're going to bring in Indeedee, and we're going to just hit them with a Flare Cannon. Yeah, we'll set up Psychic Terrain, and then that way, too, if Chen Pao thinks they're going to have Sucker Punch to do that, we're going to deny it. And then we can also redirect away with Follow Me, save Magearna. I don't think Chen Pao really does anything to Magearna, though, to be completely honest. Yeah. Sacred Sword, okay, you know what? That's still unpleasant, but we get to hit them with the Flare Cannon, and, yeah. We get to do that. We get to nail them with the Flare Cannon and bring them right down to the Sash. We're going to click in Alluring Void, and you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to Follow Me. We're going to Flash Cannon. And I'm also just realizing that I've had it on the full game for this entire match. But, hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed the full screen treatment. And we're going to knock him out with the Rocky Helmet. Yeah. Yeah, I felt like being funny. That was positively evil. Yeah. All right, I'm pretty happy about how that played out. I am very, very happy that we got to see a little bit of everything with the team on that one there. We got the Indeedee in. We got the Psychic Seed up onto Magearna, not that it mattered. We get to punish that Zama with some back-to-back Moongeist beams after they were in between protects, I guess. But yeah, we definitely handled that pretty good, especially with the knockoff into the Calyrex Shadow Rider. Definitely glad I got to hit them with that. I'm also just realizing we didn't get Tera out of my opponent. So either they just had something that just really did not appreciate Ghost or Fairy there, because Lunala put on a tremendous amount of pressure. I mean, this was technically supposed to be showcasing Magearna, but I mean, Lunala just had a phenomenal game here. Anyways, I've rambled on more than enough for that. Good game to my opponent. Is the irony lost on me that for today's partner segment, I talked about Cheeky and their soap as well as cleaning up, and then proceeded to do my opponent as dirty as I did at the very end of Game 3? No, it is certainly not lost on me, but thank you guys so much for checking out this Magearna and Lunala team in action. I had a lot of fun playing with this Trick Room team today, and we got to see quite a few different aspects of it. While we did lose our Magearna mirror match today, we did get to obliterate a Calyrex Ice Rider with just a single click of a button. You know, one of the most feared restricted legendary Pokemon out there, just gone. Thank you, Final Gambit, and thank you, Annihilape, for doing that. And then as far as the rest of the games go, the team went absolutely hard. We got Trick Group up. Indeedee was able to dodge a Sleep Powder off of a Venusaur, which then allowed Incineroar to just absolutely nail that same Venusaur and one-shot it thanks to the Corridon Sun Boost powering up its Flare Blitz. So we got to do that. And then Indeedee set up Trick Room, which then allowed Incineroar to safely pivot in Ursaluna, get the Flame Orb active on the Guts, and then Ursaluna just tore through that team. And I'm also just realizing after the fact that Lunala didn't even get to make a showing in that game, so that was pretty darn impressive. And then we also had Incineroar and Lunala take on Tornadus and Calyrex Shadow Rider, and I actually forgot about my Mental Herb at that point, so that was fun to find out about. I think it surprised me just as much as it surprised my opponent, because they took the taunt from Tornadus, hit Lunala with it, and then Lunala said, nah, I'm still going to Trick Room. And then that allowed Incineroar to just spank that Calyrex off of its shadowy horse. So we had some fun there, especially since Lunala was then able to just start wailing on that Zamazenta with its special attacks. So we definitely had that. And then we had Magearna come in, threaten some pressure there with the Flare Cannon, and then we had Indeedee come in and redirect away that Sacred Sword off the Chen Pao to allow the Rocky Helmet to pick it up. But anyways, thank you guys so much for checking out this team in action, and thank you to Cheeky for partnering with me for today's video. Don't forget, use code SHUCKO for 10% off your orders, unless you want to smell like a bag of trubbish. But you don't want to do that. There's nothing worse than people who stink. Anyways, see you next time.